Welcome to my tutorial on the Volvo 12 Plus 2 transmission. I wanted to start up by quickly going over the control settings to show you how I have it set up. The shifter layout, of course, is set up to Volvo 12 Plus 2 speed. Shifter layout behavior is set to advanced. The shifter fast split is set to clutch press. There are a few different ways that you can set that up, but be aware that European trucks do use a clutch press, so that's what we're going to be using today. Now, in the shifter positions, you'll notice I have nothing in the reverse. If you have something there, just unassign it. Shifter positions 1 through 6, quite simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, shifter toggle 1 and shifter toggle 2, by default there is going to be nothing there, so you're going to want to set these up, and you want these somewhere that you can reach with one hand on the wheel and one hand on the shifter. That's just going to make your shifting a lot easier. You'll hear me refer to shifter toggle 1 as the splitter from here on out. Shifter toggle 2, you'll hear me refer to it as the range from here on out. And my splitter I have set to this side button on my shifter knob, and then my shifter toggle 2 is actually set to this front button on my shifter knob. And if you're using just normal key press, it will work basically the same way that mine works, except for that when you press the button once, it will be like me hitting the toggle one way, and then when you press the button again, it'll be like me hitting my toggle button back the other way. And then right below that, you'll notice I have shifter toggles use switch mode checked, and that's just what I explained right there, that I'm actually using toggle switches. So that's pretty much it for the control settings. Now we'll get into the actual shift pattern. Before we grab a load, I'll show you that. Before I actually got out on the road and grabbed a load, I wanted to show you how the shift pattern actually works in a Volvo 12 Plus 2. So if I start out with my range in low and my splitter in low, if I pull all the way over to the left and back, you'll see it puts me in reverse low low. If I then hit my splitter, it will put me into reverse low high. If I go back out on neutral, put my splitter into low and put my range up into high, go back into that same slot, you'll see it puts me in reverse high low. If I then hit my splitter, it puts me in reverse high high. So the Volvo actually does have 4 reverse gears to it, which is pretty nice to have when, especially when you get into like some of the mining areas and you're trying to reverse in gravel and whatnot. So if I put my splitter back into low, put my range back into low, if I go over to the left and up, you'll see it puts me in C1, that is crawler 1. A crawler gear is an extremely low gear ratio for starting you out on big hills, starting out with extreme amounts of weight and whatnot. So if I then hit my splitter into high, it's going to put me into crawler 2. So that is the 2 crawler gears that the Volvo 12 Plus 2 has. That's your plus 2. So if I go back out on the neutral, put my splitter into low, and again my range is still in low. If I go up straight into the middle, you'll see it puts me into 1 low. If I then hit my splitter, it puts me into 1 high. If I go back out on the neutral, put my splitter into low, pull straight down into the middle, you'll see it puts me into 2 low. If I then hit my splitter, puts me into 2 high. Back out on the neutral, put my splitter into low, over all the way to the right and up, you'll see it puts me in 3 low. If I then hit my splitter, it will put me into 3 high. If I go back out on the neutral and I'm all the way over to the left and pull back, there is no gear there. There wouldn't be a shift position there on a Volvo, so there's actually no gear there whatsoever. So if I go back out of the neutral, have my splitter into low, and then I flip my range up into high and go in where 1 was at, you'll see it puts me into 4 low. Now that may look a little odd, but when I actually show you how you run through the gears pulling a load, that'll become a little more clear. So if I then hit my splitter into high, it puts me into 4 high. Back out on the neutral, put my splitter into low, pull straight down into the middle, puts me into 5 low. Hit my splitter into high, it puts me into 5 high. Back out on the neutral, put my splitter into low, over the right and up, it puts me into 6 low. If I then hit my splitter, it puts me into 6 high. So you've basically got 4 gears for each of your 3 slots, equaling your 12. And then you've got your 2 crawler gears, equaling your +2. So that's how the shift pattern looks. Now we'll grab a load and I'll show you how that actually runs. Okay, I've actually picked up a load. I picked up a Rex-Tex crane, which is a pretty heavy crane. I wanted to be able to show you more of the gear range. Now, the first time that I run through this, I'll run through the gears from the very bottom crawler gear up to the top to show you how that runs, and then I'll kind of show you how I would actually run the gear pattern. So we'll start out very lowest in C1, and we'll get going here. We'll go ahead and hit our splitter into high, clutch in. It's going to put me into C2. I'm going to put my splitter into low, clutch in, over into the middle. It's going to put me into 1 low. Hit my splitter into high, clutch in, putting me into 1 high. Hit my splitter into low, clutch in, pull straight back into 2 low. Now if you'll notice, I'm also revving out pretty quick in these lower gears. Normally I wouldn't be starting out quite this low. And you'll notice as well, I am pre-selecting the splits. That's what that shifter fast split that we set up was for, was so that we were able to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my splitter into high, clutch in. It's going to put me in 2 high. Hit my splitter into low, clutch in, over and up into 3 low. Hit my splitter into high, clutch in. It's going to put me into 3 high. Now I'm going to hit my splitter into low, my range into high. I'm going to clutch in, pull straight back over into the middle again, putting me into 4 low. Hit my splitter into high, clutch in. It's going to put me into 4 high. Hit my splitter into low, clutch in, 5 low. Hit my splitter into high, clutch in. It's going to put me into 5 high. Hit my splitter into low, clutch in, over into 6 low. Hit my splitter into high. clutch in, and it's going to put me into 6 high, my final gear. So that's the full range from the bottom to the top of the gear. And now what I'll do is I'll show you how I would actually run that. So now I am hauling quite a bit of weight, and I am on an incline. Normally if I was on flat ground, I would just start out in about 2 low. But since I'm on a slight incline here, I'm going to go ahead and start out in 1 low. We're going to clutch out and get going. I'm going to clutch in, go straight over into 3 low. Clutch in, put my range into high, over into 4 low. Clutch in, pull straight back into 5 low. Now I'm going to hit my splitter into high. Clutch in into 5 high. I'm going to clutch in, splitter into low, over into 6 low. I'm going to hit my splitter into high. Clutch in. 6 high for my final gear. So there you have it. There is the Volvo 12+2 transmission. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial, and I hope it helped you out. Happy trucking.